Hey guys, good morning. It is about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be getting ready to go to work pretty soon. I just wanted to prepare some things before I go. I have a dinner party this weekend, so just waiting to get some hot water here to get some tea. It is also very, very cold, um, and I'm really happy about that. I think Las Vegas is officially hitting the cooler temperatures. So let me show you guys. Excuse me. Let me show you guys what I have for this dinner party. Hey guys, welcome back in. I am glad you guys came to visit again. So this week has been very, very busy. Um, I have a dinner party this Saturday, so there's a lot of things I've been preparing for. I've been working on my hosting skills, and this is really a skill that I really, really want to master. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you guys what I end up doing. I'm pretty excited. I'll be hosting about, I want to say it's going to be like 15 of us in total, which is quite a lot of people, and I don't also have the space for it. Um, I don't have like a big dining room. So we're going to be eating outdoors, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that. The temperatures here also have been a lot more cooler. I think like since yesterday, like it's gotten really, really cold. At least for me, it's really cold. Um, when you are coming from Vegas or like really hot places, anything is cold. Like once it's 70, we're like shivering. um, but it's pretty cold, and also it's pretty early in the morning, you guys. So if I am not speaking too loudly, I'm just trying not to wake everybody up. It's like 6 a.m. I've been up since maybe like 5:30, and I just wanted to get a few things done before I go to work. I do work a full-time job. I work as a teacher, a co-teacher, and so I am very, very busy during the week. So I just try to use whatever gaps I have to get some things done. So I'm gonna show you guys the menu, and also I'm gonna show you guys some of the food that is. I have some of it here, and then some of it is in the freezer. I'm also gonna clean out the fridge because I don't have space um, in the fridge because I have a lot of old stuff in there. It's been such a busy past 2 weeks that it's been very hard to take care of the fridge. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that as well before I head out to work. So let me show you guys what the menu is going to be this weekend so you guys have an idea. Let me get my notes. So I'm just waiting for my tea to cool off, but it's warming me up just having it in my hands because it was pretty cold coming out here. Okay, anyways, let me just put it down. Okay, so let me show you guys what the menu is. So for all the sides, I'm gonna do a Parmesan smashed potato. And I kept going back and forth on what I was gonna do for the sides. I really wanted to elevate a lot of, you know, simple recipes just because I kind of wanted to make this dinner party a little bit more elevated, a little bit more special. So I've been planning this for like a good month and a half, and I kept going back and forth on this menu. So this is what I chose. And I feel like also this menu is timely for this type of season because we are in fall. The temperatures are much cooler in the evenings, and this is an evening dinner party. And because it's outdoors, I really wanted cozy food, comfort food, warm food, and I feel like this will hit the spot. So the first side dish is going to be smashed potatoes. And then I wanted to do roasted asparagus. And the roasted asparagus will have some Parmesan cheese. It's almost like a cacio e pepe kind of sauce. So this is going to be my first time making this. So I'm pretty excited and hopefully it's really good. And this is a Barefoot Contessa recipe. I think I'm also going to be doing, because I'm going to do about 4 vegetarian sides. Let me see. So I'm also going to do, I didn't put it down here, but I'm going to also make green beans, and I'm going to drown the green beans with garlic and butter. It's going to be like a really simple recipe. So I was between a garlic butter sauce and a tomato gravy sauce. And the tomato gravy has always been my favorite with green beans. It's so good. But I think the garlic butter sauce will probably work best for this type of dinner. So that's going to be my third side, and then roasted carrots will be my fourth side. And I am thinking to do a honey glazed roasted carrot. So we'll see what I end up doing with that recipe. And then the main dish is going to be a classic pot roast. I was looking up several recipes, and I'm going to try this one. It seems simple enough. This is my first time making chuck roast, so I hope it works out because there's nothing else we're gonna have except for chuck roast. Well, there's another main side. Sorry, guys, it's still early in the morning, so my voice is still loading. So, this seems to be a pretty simple recipe. It says that it takes about 4 hours. My stove and my oven doesn't get too hot, so I think this is going to be around 5 to 6 hours in my oven. And yeah, so this is going to be such a cozy main dish, in my opinion, and I feel like it's the perfect dish for the season. So I'm going to pick that one. And then I'm also going to do a salmon dish as one of the main dishes because I don't eat meat. I eat seafood. Um, I eat more seafood and a lot of veggies. Like I'm more on the pescatarian slash vegetarian side, but I have no problem cooking meat. I have no problem doing all of that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking to make a cashew nut sauce with my salmon. I wanted to elevate it because usually I'll just have, like, the basic garlic and lemon, or like just a basic salmon. But I kind of wanted to elevate it and add cashews on it. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I did look up some recipes, so I'm in between like 3 different recipes. So I'll show you guys along the way what I end up doing. And also, I really wanted to do like a miso sauce for the salmon, and because it's so good. I had it the other day, and it was phenomenal. So I really wanted to try that, but I feel like the cashew nut one would be a lot more elevated. And cashew nuts taste so good when it's part of your food. It tastes very good baked and cooked with your food. So I think I'm going to stick with that one. And then now for desserts. We're gonna have 2 different desserts. So I wanted to do something simple but also elevate it just a little bit. So I love pound cake, and I'm going to bake a pound cake, but I'm going to elevate it by um, adding almonds and also putting almond extract in it. So it's gonna have like this really nutty, flavorful flavor. It's gonna be so good. I also, with this pound cake, I'm also going to make a custard. So, in South Africa, so I was living in South Africa for a couple years, guys. I don't think I mentioned it in the other video, but I was living in South Africa for a couple years, and then I was living in another African country after that. And one of the things that I really learned to enjoy to eat is the custard. I haven't really had custard until I moved that side. It wasn't really familiar to me. And I was like, at first, I was like, I don't know if I like it. And then I just love it so much. And they like to pour it on their cakes. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. So, my husband is South African. So, I kind of want to bring a little bit of that here to this dinner party. And I feel like excuse me, and I feel like the best way to bring it is, or to introduce a little bit of the culture, is to make a nice custard. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to make a custard from scratch. I do have a recipe here. So this sauce, I found it on Pinterest. So let's hope it works, because I found another one online, but it looked a little too complicated and too advanced for me. So I'm going to try this one, and it looks and sounds very good and simple. So we're going to see how that goes, and I'm going to show you guys how that looks as well. So I'll take you guys along with me for that one. Sorry, I think I'm just a little cold. That's why I'm like sniffling and losing my voice. Okay. And then the last thing that we're going to make is the bread pudding dessert. So my sister is going to do the bread pudding dessert, and I'm going to make the almond cake dessert. And we're making two desserts because the bread pudding dessert is requested by our friend, one of the guests that are coming over. So we're going to make him a really nice bread pudding, and hopefully it comes out right, because that'll be our first time also making that. So that is the menu. So let me show you guys some of the ingredients that I got to make this. And I made a lot of notes as well on these recipes so that I can kind of, how do you call it? Kind of just fix it up a little bit. I just tweaked it a little bit um, with ingredients that I know that I would prefer to use. So let me just show you guys some of the stuff that I have. Okay, so I forgot to mention that one of the drinks that I didn't mention to you guys, the drinks that we're going to be having. So one of the drinks we're going to be having is cranberry spritzers. You can make it alcoholic or you can make it non-alcoholic. I'm not much of a drinker, so mine is going to be non-alcoholic. But this is a recipe that I found online. It's simply just cranberry juice, and I got like tonic water or soda water. Doesn't really matter, I don't think. And then there was something else that you mix it with. You put, oh yeah, and then you put some oranges in it for the decor and that citrusy flavor. And I think it's gonna be so delicious. So I look forward to making that. So I also got some wine. The ingredients recommended to, because for the chuck roast, it's good to cook it with wine, with red wine. So the options were, there was quite a good amount of options for the red wines that you can select. So I chose the Merlot option, and I think it's gonna make the meat very nice. And I think the gravy is gonna be nice and rich. So I got two of these because I did get quite a few pieces of chuck roast. So hopefully this is enough, and also enough to also drink on its own. And then I got some of that almond extract for the almond cake. Also a little bit of sugar, because we did have sugar, but I was not sure how much of it we had. And then we have garlic and then potatoes. and then some tomato paste. I have two of those cans. And I have a couple more other things, but they're in the freezer, and that's like the chuck roast and also the salmon. So I'm actually gonna take that out this morning. That's why I also got up early because I wanted to clean out the fridge. It's also trash day, so I want to make sure I clear out the fridge and it makes space for the chuck roast and the fish. Actually, not the fish. I'm gonna leave the fish. I'm just gonna take out the chuck roast because it's gonna take a whole day to um, defrost. And then I'm thinking that I don't know if you marinate chuck roast, so I need to look that up because I was thinking for Friday I will marinate it. Today is Thursday, by the way. So I was thinking Friday I'll just let it marinate, and then Saturday morning I will start cooking to avoid any surprises. So I'm going to start first thing in the morning, and I'm going to take you guys with me for that as well. So, yeah, let me take you guys to the fridge. I also wanted to mention quickly that this is my laundry room, and we will be doing some projects in here as well. We need to upgrade this little space. I'll show you guys another time, but anyways, I typically like to start with one shelf at a time when I'm cleaning the fridge because I do get overwhelmed easily. I'm a very much ADHD girl, so I have to do this very organized, or else that dopamine is out the door. So I am going to start with the first shelf and clean that out, and then start with the second shelf, and that's how I do it. And then I keep my trash can nearby and I throw everything in there as I work. So that's what my strategy is, and it works every time. So let's do that. I also want to take this time to share some thoughts. Another reason why I really want to do this homesteading project, it's because it teaches you how to also waste less food. I really hate it when food goes to the trash. I know we have such busy schedules, we're running around, and sometimes you're not able to get to certain veggies or your tomatoes or some fruits. So I really want to learn how to be less wasteful, and homesteading helps you to do that. It teaches you how to preserve food, so when you are ready to cook it or you are ready to eat it, you can just pop it out of the freezer or pop it out of the jar. And that is something that I really want to work on. So I'm very excited to learn those skills. It's going to really help to reduce food waste. So I just wanted to share that. So I just took out the chuck roast from the freezer and popped it in the fridge so it can defrost. And I will try and figure out how to marinate this by tonight, later tonight, or tomorrow morning. So I'm just finishing up here, cleaning all the dishes, putting them all away in the dishwasher. I am so grateful that I have a dishwasher. It does make the cleaning load so much easier. So I just had to pop everything right in here and it does the work for me. So sometimes when I'm in a hurry, you just don't have time to hand wash all of your dishes. So I am very grateful for my dishwasher. And also, I didn't mention it before, but I was living in South Africa for almost 5 years, so I did not have a dishwasher. They do have dishwashers over there, but I did not have one. So I am very grateful to have one. It's been a while since I've used it, and I didn't really grow up using a dishwasher, but I appreciate it so much now in my adulthood. So I'm just finishing that up right before I get ready to go to work. While I was living in South Africa, one thing, well, there are many things that I learned and appreciate so much that I try to use being back home in America. I appreciate how people over there wake up super, super early in the day to get the workload done, the chores in the house done. So I started to wake up really early. Like I would wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to get laundry done. And sometimes I would even do it the day before, like at nighttime, right before bed. And I would get like maybe 2 loads done. And then first thing in the morning, I would get up and hang them out in the line because I didn't have a dryer. So I would take them outside and put them on the line. And it was good. I liked that because then I didn't have to worry about it later. Once the sun is out, you don't really want to be out in the hot sun. So it made the workload very easy. So that's something that I am going to be applying being back home. I'm just going to wake up early and I'm going to get some chores done, and that will make my load a lot less heavy. When I come home, I don't have to do much. And homesteading is all about getting things done, getting them done early in the year, early in the day, so that you don't have to really stress out when you need certain things. It's so cold. Hey, you guys. I'm just sitting down for a moment just to talk to you guys. So, we were able to get so much accomplished today, and I am so glad that we were able to get up early and get the morning started right. I do work full time, but my schedule for my job is very nice because I do finish by around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have like a pretty good gap to get other projects done throughout the day. But I'm so glad that we were able to get up early, start early, get a lot of things done. Today we were able to get the dishes done, put everything in the dishwasher. We were able to clean the fridge. I was able to tell you guys about my menu and throw out the trash. And all these things will make my life a lot easier when I start to cook and also start with the preparations of my dinner party. This will really make everything so much more easier for me personally because I have such a busy schedule. This will definitely make the load much more lighter for me. So I'm trying to do as much as little things that I can do now so I don't have to allow it to accumulate on last minute and I have to do so much more than I already have to do for this dinner party. So I'm glad that that is done. So thank you so much for visiting me and for being my guest again. And I will show you guys what I end up doing tomorrow. I think I might start with some decor for this dinner party because I do have a very tight schedule on Friday and also Saturday. So I'm going to see how much I can get done tomorrow as well. And I'll show you guys what I end up doing as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I am going to get ready for work. Okay, see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, so it is officially Friday. So I took you guys with me. I think it was it Wednesday? I was cleaning up the place. I was cleaning up the fridge. I was showing you guys the menu for the dinner party. And well, today I am going to start preparing the backyard. And I'm also going to start to see what I can get done today, like certain meal, like vegetable preps. I know that today I'm gonna bake some of the cakes, some of the desserts, and get an excuse me early start. Hey guys, so I just came back from the shop and aren't these so beautiful? This is what I needed. I needed some flowers to put on the table as decor, and I'm just so happy I was able to find these. I was trying to look at other shops yesterday and they had ran out, so I'm so glad I was able to find them here. So let's go home. We have a busy, busy day ahead of us. Yeah, so we're not using the rug. Yeah, so we're gonna move that behind the house. Or we can move it this side. Oh, hello, everybody. So I am back home. We just came from the store. I was just freshening up. I am so glad that I have the rest of the day to prepare. So my husband, this is Senzo. Hi, Senzo. Hi. So he's just gonna help me to set up the backyard. So we're just gonna do some cleaning up, and and then we're going to see how we're gonna set the tables up. So that's kind of what we're trying to figure out right now. And we're gonna bring all the decor or the party stuff. It's gonna come here. So I don't know. We're trying to figure out how we're gonna arrange everything so it can look really nice. So while we were arranging everything, we were realizing this is quite a lot of work. There's just so much details that goes into hosting a big group. And, these are our good friends that we're hosting, and we want them to feel special. It's not like we get to do this every day. So we really wanted to give them a special treat. And so we were just going back and forth on how we're going to organize the furniture. And also, as you can see there, like where the concrete stops, it's not a lot of space. Our space here on our patio is like very tight. So it was just a bit tricky to figure out how we're going to arrange all the furniture pieces because I wanted all the tables to be like right here. And yeah, we were just going back and forth like, does this make sense or does that make sense? And eventually it did make sense, but it was just a lot of rearranging for like, I want to say a good 2 hours and just trying to figure out what made the most sense to host like all of our friends or some of our friends, sorry. So I think we ended up hosting like, I think it was about 16 of us in total. And it was just so nice. Um, it was so nice. I actually would do it again. And there are things that I will definitely want to do different to make it much more cozier for our visitors. I also wanted to bring out that hosting is so nice, although it can be like a bit overwhelming because it is a lot of detail that goes into it. But hosting is so nice. It's a way of thanking your friends or your family. It's just like I would consider it like a love language, and I really like it. I've always appreciated friends who hosted me and made me feel very good and would accommodate to my needs, and I just really appreciated that. And I have a lot of good memories of my friends and family always hosting me. And so now I want to learn this skill on how to host others, and I want people to also feel cozy and nice and every time I have them over. So this was another reason why I really wanted to do this. I've never hosted such a big group. I've hosted friends, but never this big. So I was quite proud of myself for wanting to do this and just following through with it. And it's such a good thing to do for others. And even if it can be overwhelming, it is so worth it. And you do feel proud of yourself, and your friends do feel good about it too. And so it's a gift on both ends. Okay, now we just have this little mini ladder. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this off, wipe down the table. Yeah. Huh? I can just wipe it down. Okay, so we just moved all the furniture and we kind of just moved it to the side. But we have quite a lot to clean. So this is basically where everybody is going to be. And I need to sweep, clear out the dirt. We also had, I tried to do it also in one of the earlier videos because we have a lot of thorns here. So I need to make sure I clear all of that out. So that's what I'm going to do now before we start to put in the tables and the chairs. I just want to get as much as I can done today so that I don't have to think about it tomorrow. I will be so busy in the kitchen. So I'm going to try to do as much as I can today. So the reason why I'm just
Hi,
cleaning up the
girl.
floor, I'm just
Hey,
using
here.
dish soap, by the way. The reason why I'm just cleaning it up a bit is because when you have pets, sometimes, they can leave not a nice or pleasant smell. So I was just trying to scrub it off, and so I'm just using dish soap, and I'm just gonna like scrub it a little bit with the broom, and just to make sure the area doesn't smell bad for our guest. And it worked very nicely because it did smell pretty good right after that. So I'm very glad that I did that. So we were able to set up the tables here. We had we've just kept going back and forth what made the most sense here because of the small space that I have in this portion of our backyard. So I was just trying to experiment, trying to see how I want to put it, the how to place the table mats, the tablecloths, the candles, everything that I wanted set up. I was just trying to get creative here. I was having a lot of fun doing it too. Getting to see how I wanted to set up the table, and I had a good time doing this. I was out here going back and forth on this maybe for like a good hour until I felt comfortable with what I wanted to do, and I was very happy with that. I ended up changing it, and it was very similar. I just added a couple more layers to it because I had a lot of extra fabric flowing around, and so we just used some of that and we just layered. I know that in some table settings, people love to go all out and they like to put very big flower arrangements, but I'm not a fan of that because I really want to be able to see all of our guests. I want to be able to talk whoever is in front of me. So I chose to make it as simple as possible so that people don't feel like they're being like divided. And so I think simplicity is good. I feel like it was still very elegant and simple and cozy, and that's what I wanted. So I feel very happy about my arrangement for the flowers. It's just simple, nothing very big, and that is what works for me. Hey guys, so I just finished the backyard, the setup that I wanted for the dinner party, and I'm almost done. I have a couple more things that I want to get done, so I'm hoping that I can do that tomorrow, just to finalize some touches. So I will show you guys my setup tomorrow. And today I am done with whatever I needed to get done in the backyard. I was able to clean up, and then my mom is going to finish clearing out some weeds and some old flowers that had already died, so we're gonna remove some of that. Well, she's gonna focus on that tomorrow while I start cooking tomorrow morning. And then now all I have to do is the dishes, some dishes that I wanted to use specifically for this dinner party, and they're a bit dusty, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the dishwasher. And also some teacups and glasses to drink. Sorry, it's kind of windy outside. And then what else did I need to work on? I have a lot of things I need to put away. So my goal is just to put as many things away, clean up as much as I can today. That way tomorrow it's gonna be easy and I don't have to stress about cleaning, organizing. I just want everything to be organized so that tomorrow all I have to do is cook and that's it. So that is my goal today, and I am gonna get started on the inside. So I'm done outside. Now I'm gonna work inside. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing inside. Let's go. So I've always wanted to use these plates, these dishes here, and some of them I have been able to use in the past, but these gold and white plates I have not used yet. So I'm pretty excited to be able to take them out and finally be able to use them. And I also have the teacups and our champagne glasses, wine glasses, things like that. So these are all things that we don't use every day. So they do get dusty. So I'm just gonna pop them in to the dishwasher, get them nice and freshened up, make them a little shiny. And I am so happy that we have some of these plates. I did realize though that we definitely need to get some more plates. We need like a better set of plates because these were not enough for my guest. So I had to pop out the not so pretty plates out. Our everyday use plates, I don't consider them that pretty. They're just everyday use plates. So sometimes you just want to have like those nice set of plates that you can just use for hosting. And so I'm going to focus on being able to collect some of these. Every time I go thrifting, maybe I can find some there at the shop. But sometimes I do get a little nervous buying certain dishware at the thrift stores because sometimes, depending on how old they are, they do contain lead. So I do need to be careful with that. But I just need to do my research and figure out what places I can go to buy affordable dishware and also silverware as well. So that's definitely something I do look forward to looking more into because I did not like our spoons too much. Like some spoons would be too big, some of them were just too small. So I need to invest on some good silverware just for hosting. So that's something I'm going to be on the lookout this year. Just trying to find some good old hosting supplies. Just basic stuff. And I'm just going to keep it simple. So hopefully I can find something and find some goodies as I do shopping throughout the year. I also wanted to mention that I don't typically wash teacups in the dishwasher. There's all these details that are painted on the teacups that do fade away with time using the dishwasher. I do prefer to wash these by hand, but I didn't really have time, so I just went ahead and used the dishwasher and they came out fine. They still have the nice golden paint on it, but I don't recommend doing this every single time. Hey guys, so it's been a long day today. So I am almost done in the kitchen. I came to the room to get some laundry done. I was just putting away clothes and also cleaning up the bathroom, tidying the place up for tomorrow. So tomorrow today I'm just going to finish up the kitchen. So I'm almost done. I just finished up the load of dishes and I'm gonna put the next load of dishes, and then I'm gonna finish doing my laundry, and then I'm gonna get started on baking. But I will do that later on tonight, so you guys will see me later baking and doing some preps for tomorrow. It's cooking day. It's gonna be a long cooking day. So I have an appointment that I have to go to now, and so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that in the next hour. So I will see you guys later on tonight. All right, see ya. Hey guys, so it is about 9 o'clock at night. We just got home. We just finished our appointment, so now I'm gonna get started on that cake and whatever other things I can get done today. I wanted to get some veggies prepped for tomorrow. So let's get started. Let's head to the kitchen. It's been a long day, and I'm just so glad that we were able to get certain things done and out of the way, and also starting early in the week as well, slowly prepping a lot of things so that I cannot feel so much of the pressure when I start cooking tomorrow morning. So I look forward to that. I look forward to seeing my friends tomorrow evening, and I'm glad that you guys were able to also see the process of it. So let's go ahead and get started on that cake. And also I'm gonna also make that custard as well. Okay, let's go to the kitchen. So one of my favorite cakes to bake is actually pound cake. I love the density of it, and it just tastes so good. I love it. It's one of my comfort desserts, and it was something I ate growing up, so it's a bit nostalgic for me as well. And so I do enjoy making that. And this cake was so easy to make as well. I just wanted something simple and something enjoyable and cozy as well. And I feel like a pound cake, it just gives all of that. So finding this almond pound cake recipe was really nice. I was very happy I was able to find it. And it also tasted so good. So I ended up making, this cake ended up feeding everybody. Everybody had a chance to try it, and there was like 16 of us all together. And so I was able to share that with everyone. So, yeah. I also enjoy watching when I mix like the sugar, the eggs, and the butter. I love how the butter gets really creamy. It gets super fluffy, and then when you mix everything else together, it's just this very nice creamy consistency. I just love the way it looks and how it gets really fluffy, and even the color changes. It gets a little bit more lighter in color, and that's also another reason why I really like making a pound cake too. It's very similar to making a butter cookie. If you're a butter cookie fan, then you will definitely love pound cake. It's so similar. It's creaming the sugar and the butter and the eggs, and it's just so fluffy. I just love the way that it looks when it bakes. It's so good and buttery. And that is why I love making pound cake, because it reminds me of a butter cookie or a shortbread cookie. It's so good. So I'm just like a bit addicted to it. So I'm just sifting the flour so that there is no clumps in this batter. I just want to make sure that it's nice and smooth and that you don't find yourself biting into a little clump of flour. So that's why it's good to sift the flour through, and it just makes a nice smooth batter, and that's what we want anyways. So it's a extra step, but I am willing to do it to make sure I get a smooth batter. And now I'm just adding in the chopped almonds. This is going to go on the bottom of the pan with butter so it can caramelize really nicely. The cake batter is going to go right on top of the almonds, and it's when the cake is baked, I'm going to be flipping it over. So when you get your cake, what you see are the almonds. So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to look amazing, and it's also, well, it tasted very good. So I'm very happy that I did this, because I was a little scared that the almonds would burn, but they absolutely did not burn. And I think it was because I put lots of butter in the bottom, so that did help quite a lot for it to not burn up. So I'm glad it came out so nicely. happy Saturday. So we are in the kitchen. We are getting started immediately. I already have water boiling and I'm gonna start with the beets because I don't remember if I mentioned I'm making a beet salad. So I have my beets here. Let me show you guys all the veggies I got here. So here are my veggies. I started to cut some of them, and I'm going to be using that as my compost, my scrap for my compost, sorry. And then lots of garlics that I'm going to be peeling. So first I'm going to start off with the beets and get them cut up so that I can go ahead and boil them so that they can be nice and soft, so it can be enjoyable in a salad. These beetroots are massive. I'm pretty happy about that. I think I'm gonna leave the skin on and then I'm going to remove it once it's done boiling. I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a quick rinse. I'm gonna give this a quick cut. It's too big. So I definitely feel like this is like overflowing. So I think I'm gonna change the pots, or maybe it'll be fine. Because I know if you put too much, then it doesn't properly cook. Or maybe I should put more water. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna figure out right now what I'm gonna do. Okay, for now, the beets are cooking, and then I'm gonna take out the meat as well and get started there too. So the beets ended up cooking very, very nicely in that pot, and they all fit in quite well. So I'm really glad I didn't have to change the pot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with chopping some of the veggies, onions, things like that I need for the chuck roast. So I'm gonna go ahead and start prepping that right before I can fry up the chuck roast. I'm also going to turn on the stove, put it on high so I can get that pot ready as well. I really enjoy cooking in the kitchen. I really enjoy the process of cutting veggies and preparing the meat. Although I don't eat meat, I still like cooking meat. So I know that sounds a little strange, but I do enjoy cooking it. So I was really enjoying this process of cooking, although it was so hectic at some point during the day, because we were just back to back with cooking this vegetable and then that vegetable, and then I ran out of time. and we were just hurrying up, but I really do enjoy being in the kitchen. So I'm sure you can see that I'm cutting certain pieces of the celery. I do love celery leaves, but some parts of the celery, like the bottom, can be a little bitter, so I'm just tossing those out. I was running behind schedule just a little bit because I wasn't able to get certain things prepped the night before. The only thing I was able to do was the cake that you guys saw. But I wasn't able to prep anything else. I was so exhausted. We had such a long day as it was, and I got home so late, so I was just okay getting it done the next day. The goal was to get as much as I could done, and I was able to achieve that goal. Even if I wasn't able to get to all my veggies, I was able to get some things prepped, and that's okay with me. I was still able to get everything done. So you can kind of see I'm like trying to hurry, and I'm trying to get everything done quickly because I want to get that meat started. It does take about 4 to 6 hours to cook a chuck roast, especially the quantity that I was doing. I was doing like 6 pieces of chuck roast that weighed like 5 to 6 pounds each. So I needed to make sure that I can get those in the oven as quickly as I possibly can. So I was chopping fast. So I had chopped these onions earlier, but I realized that they were a little too big. So I just chopped it up just a little bit more, not too small. I didn't have enough time to make them smaller, just enough so that they can cook a little faster when I saute them on the pot. So that's all I was doing, and that will just make the cooking process a little bit more faster. So I'm just taking a moment to read the recipe for this roast. I just want to make sure that I have everything that I need. Okay, so it looks like I have pretty much everything. Let's see. Okay, so the only thing I did not grab was the Worcestershire sauce, and I'm totally fine with that. I do have red wine vinegar. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. I think I'm gonna get started here with sauteing the veggies first, and then wait, hold on, let's see. Okay, so we first start with the beef and then saute the veggies. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's hope it goes well. This is my first time doing chuck roast. I just wanted to say those onions were so strong. My eyes were blinded by the onions. Anyway, so here I'm just trying to open up these garlic cloves, and usually I'm able to smash them and they'll just fall apart, but this one was like pretty tough. Like this batch of garlic were quite tough this time around. So I really had to like cut into it to remove to get out the cloves. So they were just a little bit more tougher this time, but usually I just smash it and they easily open. But they were still good. It still tasted really good, and it was delicious. Those onions destroyed me. So now I took out all of the chuck roast pieces, so you guys know I was defrosting it in the fridge. So here are my pieces. I'm gonna take it out of the Ziploc and I'm going to season it with pepper and a little more salt. And I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil in my pot. And let's get to frying and let's get to cooking. So a trick that I have been using in the kitchen is using parchment paper and I just put a long piece of parchment paper on my counter, and I will use it for pretty much anything. If I'm rolling out dough, if I'm making tortillas, whatever the case is, I like to use parchment paper. It just makes everything much easier, and it's an easy cleanup. I don't have to clean up any of my things. I just have to throw this piece of parchment paper away, and that's what works for me. I don't do this every single time, but on the days that I know that I just need to get things done, this is what works for me. So now I'm using this for the meat, and this made it so much easier. The cleanup was very quick, very easy. I just had a trash bag right next to me, and I just threw everything out, and it just made things so much easier. So this was a very good trick for me, and I hope that that can be something that somebody else can use. So I'm just adding black pepper and salt to each side. That's what the instructions were on the recipe. So that's exactly what I'm doing, and I'm so glad I did it. It really just added a nice little crisp crust to it, and it really drew out some of the juices from the meat, and it was so nice. I really enjoyed the process of cooking this meat. I have never worked with this type of meat, so I really just enjoyed the process, the preparations of it. It was something new to me, and I just enjoyed doing it. I really thought the process was really cool. I thought that it also smelled so good and made the entire house smell good, and I like that. So far, this process has been really nice. It's a lot more easier than I expected. So here I'm just searing each side for about 5 to 6 minutes. I just waited for that nice brown crust to form to give that really nice flavor to the gravy later on. So I really took my time searing each side. I did this quite a few times because I had quite a few pieces. I had about 4 pieces that I was searing. So I took my time, made sure that that nice brown crust was formed on each side, and it truly gave such good flavor. I was not prepared for how heavy this chuck roast was going to be. It was really hard to flip it over, and I had bigger pieces than this one, and I had to ask my husband to come in and help me to flip them because it was just not flipping over. They were so heavy. But now I know. So here I'm just getting the other sides done. I don't just want to get the front and the back. I want to get the sides as well. I want to get as much flavor as I possibly can get. So now I'm just going to repeat the process 3 more times. I have 3 more pieces to finish, and I am going to go ahead and do that. And I just wanted to say again that I really enjoyed this process, even if I'm not much of a meat eater. I thought this was such a good process. I do enjoy the process of marinating and baking and sauteing or searing meat. I do really like that. Even if I'm not going to be the one eating it, I'm okay with that. I do like preparing it though. And this specific dish is very new to me. This was my first time trying it, and I really did enjoy the process of making it. And I will definitely do it again. It was a very big success. So try something new. You'd be surprised if you like it. So now that I'm done with searing all the pieces of chuck roast, I started sauteing all the veggies. I had to take out the other pot. I should have done that earlier. I don't know why I just didn't think of it at the moment. I was doing so many things at the same time, so I just forgot. So I used 2 pots to sear the onions, the carrots, the celery, the garlic. I am just trying to hurry up at this point because I did fall behind schedule, which is okay. It did work out at the end, but I was trying to hurry. So this was me just trying to make the process a little faster by using 2 different pots. So that is what I'm doing here now. I also want to mention that I cooked these veggies down until it was a bit translucent. I waited for the veggies to get a little bit more softer before I started to add the wine and tomato paste and the rest of the spices. So they were sitting there for, I want to say a good 10 minutes. They were sauteing there for quite some time. And then that's when I was able to add some wine in there. So this was the first part the first pot, that we were working on. So that's why this one got a head start. So I'm going to cook down the wine a bit until it kind of blends in more with the veggies. And I'm going to let it sit in. I'm going to let the veggies sit in there with the wine for a couple minutes. So I think I took maybe another 7 to 10 minutes. And I was just waiting for the wine to reduce a little bit more. So that's what I was doing. And I end up closing the lid to the red pot there, you'll see now, just to make the process just a little bit more faster. And it definitely helped and it worked. And then I just started to focus on the next pot. And that one I did start a little too late. So that's why it was taking a little longer. But I just had to get started somewhere. And I'm glad that I did that. So now the wine did reduce a bit, and now I'm going to add the tomato paste. I added about 4 tablespoons since I will be adding 2 pieces of chuck roast. The recipe asked for 2 tablespoons per roast, so I ended up putting 4. So now that I have the tomato paste mixed in, I added some spices here. So I added some thyme. I also end up adding some oregano, and I added a little bit of cumin just because I really love cumin. The recipe did not ask for cumin, but I personally love cumin. And I added more salt, and I had ran out of pepper, so I couldn't add any more of that. The recipe did ask to add more pepper, but I ran out. But it's okay because it turned out well after all. I'm finally able to get started on the second pot. So the same thing I did to the first pot, I repeated the same to the second pot. I am just repeating the same process again. During this process, I was also making a ton of mess everywhere. So I was also trying to make it a habit to clean as I go, wipe down. I was picking up whatever I would drop on the floor. I had the broom nearby. I had the trash bag nearby. So I was trying to keep myself as organized as I possibly could. And, just to avoid overwhelming myself, because having a long cooking day can be overwhelming. So I was just trying to make that process easier by just cleaning as I go in the best way possible. So while that is reducing in both of the pots, I am going to be peeling some carrots because one of the side dishes are roasted carrots. So I'm going to start peeling them so I don't waste time. While I'm waiting for those veggies to absorb the wine and the tomato paste, I am just going to peel away. I am so glad that this chuck roast is finally going in the oven. I did start a little late, but it's okay. Everything came out right at the end anyway. So this cooked in the oven for about 4.5 hours. And it came out so soft. So now that the roast is in the oven, I am gonna finish up these carrots. After I peeled them, I chopped them up and I started to melt the butter in the pan, and this was so good. So with this recipe, it is just butter, a little bit of oil, and some water. And this is actually the first time I have ever made carrots in this way, and it was really, really good. And you also, towards the end, I added a ton of garlic and also some honey. And it just really elevated the flavor, and it was just surprisingly so good. I just didn't expect it to be this good, and I really enjoyed the carrots this way. I will definitely make it again just like this. And I also added some salt towards the end as well. Hey guys, so I am just finishing up here. These are all my scraps, and I'm gonna go put them in the compost. Thank you so much for joining me on this really fun process. I had such a good time with my friends. The food was so, so delicious. I am so sorry I was not able to film the rest of this. I will try to do much better next time. I just ran out of time. But thank you so much for being my guest again. I hope to see you guys again next time.